Okay, back. We're doing hopes and theories. This time we're doing on Jeff Johns and the fact he stepped down as the executive, like DC Entertainment president. Like,
President of DC Entertainment.
yeah, and that was crazy when I heard it. Were you surprised?
Oh, very. I was extremely surprised, especially because it felt like, just 2 years ago, less than even he got the job of he got promoted to, president of DC Entertainment, and like it was one of those things that everybody was so pumped about, like because one he rewrote and wrote so many great stories, and he introduced characters back into continuities. He's done so much in terms of comics for DC that everybody was like, yeah, everybody was on board. Nobody was sad. Nobody was mad that Jeff Johns got that job.
He was going to be the Kevin Feige.
I guess not.
Like
It's different.
that
It's
was
different because
yeah.
this makes him more like that. I would say.
Oh, okay.
I would say the new job makes him more like that because Kevin Feige he doesn't write comics,
True.
so it's more of a honestly it made him closer to Stanley in a way.
Quick thing. Did you know they Jeff Johns and Kevin Feige uh produced a movie like in the beginning of their careers together or something like that?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was though.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And
That's
that's
pretty
where
cool.
people were also getting the parallel, I felt like. Like
I think now
between
there's more of a parallel.
yeah,
I think
which
now there's more of a parallel.
he's going to be so much more hands-on. He's starting Mad Ghost, which I'm super psyched about.
Yeah, Mad
He's
Ghost Productions is his new it's where we're gonna see all of his work and content.
and he's going to be more hands-on this way instead of like sitting in the background and like not like having so many things. He can't just focus on this one thing. And the fact he relaunched Green Lantern, I'm so excited for him to be like the main producer and writer on Green Lantern Corps now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was supposed to be pretty hands-on with that anyways, but because of all of his other responsibilities, it was pretty tricky. And like this is basically just a position in a way almost created for him to be more hands-on, and he gets to step down. He gets to make money still. Overall, it's probably the best thing that happened to him.
Yeah,
It's
and
like it's for me it's a little sad because he won't be president of DC Entertainment. Like who's gonna be? Is that gonna change things in terms of DC's like comics? What's that gonna change? I don't think it'll change too much, but it's still it's concerning. And also like
I heard the dude that stepped in came into a shit show. Literally,
probably
like the quote was shit show.
probably. I mean,
And dude, these are our favorite
but
characters.
honestly, anyone who steps into a new position, the highest position you can get is something. You're gonna think everything's a shit show until you're a couple weeks in, and you're like, oh no, this is just how things are.
That's a good point. Like, not you can't overthink it.
Like, unless he's already done that job before, he has no idea.
Yeah, like, oh, you thought this was not gonna be like this?
Yeah.
Um, I think he's stepping into that J.J. Abrams field,
Oh,
especially
Jim Lee.
Jim Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the thing is like Jim Lee's done a lot of comics, and like I think he'll do fine. I forgot it was Jim Lee for a minute.
Oh,
Yeah, but I think he'll do fine. Like Jim Lee's been around the block several times. I'm sure he'll do all right.
and I'm excited for the projects that he's gonna start doing more of. He can have his production company on these projects. Like he's still attached to Swamp Thing, I believe,
Yeah, he's still
and
attached to that.
he's attached to Doom Patrol.
Yeah, because he wrote the Titans episode Doom Patrol. He
Yeah,
wrote that episode, and that's pretty much what got the spinoff.
and if anybody's gonna get a spinoff like and write a show, it's gonna be him. He's amazing. He rebooted Green Lantern, Aqua,
Flash.
Aquaman, Flash, and then he brought Shazam back.
He did.
Like Shazam was nowhere to be found at one point, and Jeff Johns worked him back in. And I'm super excited. He's also going to be doing his own little spin-off like label of comics within DC, but they're like Dark Horse.
Yeah, I mean he's not gonna be the deal is he's gonna be still involved in pretty much only DC comics. He's just gonna be a writer. He's gonna be doing like it says right here. This is a direct quote from him. I took on a role at DCE because I love the characters in this universe more than anything, but I want to spend my days writing and on set. I'm thrilled to get back to a more hands-on creative role. It's a dream job on dream projects, reaching even deeper into DC's vast pantheon of characters, which basically means he's going to take characters that are not as popular and he's gonna make them more popular. It's like what happened with Suicide Squad, or what's gonna happen with Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol's really not that popular comic wise.
Oh, I didn't have any clue before.
I knew, but that's only because I liked Teen Titans and so I liked Beast Boy. But I didn't. I knew he was a part of the Doom Patrol. That's all I knew, pretty much. I didn't know their origin. I still barely know anything about the Doom Patrol. But
like you can list off the characters.
No, fuck no. And I'm
No.
still gonna watch that show, especially with Geoff Johns being attached.
Yeah, and
it's like in this way it is more like Kevin Feige, where you put his name on something, it's gonna draw people to it.
That's more of a J.J. Abrams thing then at that point, because I'll go see.
I think it's the same.
Yo, same. Like I love going and seeing Bad Robot. Like anything that's Bad Robot. Oh, I'm going to see Cloverfield. Like, oh yeah.
But I wouldn't compare it to that though. Like I don't know. Like I think when you think about it in terms of comics, I'm not gonna honestly. I haven't seen every Tarantino movie. I love Tarantino. I think I'm missing one or two I haven't seen. Yeah. But Geoff Johns attached to something, I'm on board.
And
it's wild.
Well, and that's why we're so surprised about this. Do you think that he was fired technically, maybe a little?
No,
I've heard that.
I don't think he would have gotten fired.
He got the option to step down publicly, but if he didn't, he would have been fired. No. And so he got his eggs into a basket and made all this happen because he knew he couldn't continue to be.
No. And the reason is because look at the position he got. He's going to be making more money.
Yeah.
Guaranteed making more money, still connected to the company, and he wanted to do this.
So you think he honestly wanted to like get this done? Like
yeah, no,
I'm done with this. This seems better for me.
Yeah, I think he was really excited about being the president of DC Entertainment. But I think this is something that he's been better at because realistically, he's basically just doing what he started doing, which is writing stories. And so I think when it comes to I think it boils down to the fact that he had a good time doing this. It probably wasn't exactly his thing, but honestly, I think he did a fine job. But
I do too.
I think this is something he wanted, and he thought might as well make it happen. I don't think there was any idea of him getting fired or not. If anybody needs to be getting fired, honestly, it's someone in Warner Brothers. But whatever.
Well, yeah, Warner Brothers isn't
because the only failing property of DC right now is the movies, and they're technically not failing even.
Yeah, they're just not making the money Marvel does.
Yeah, which in terms of comparison, it's not fair.
And then DC is kicking ass in the comics, the animated television shows.
Yeah, it's the only thing that you could consider failing is the movies, and that's why he's stepping into this position.
And that's why I get really excited when I see them adapting an animated movie to the live screen sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they did such a good job on that animated show or TV or movie or whatever that I'm super excited. I hope Aquaman is like the Throne of Atlantis.
Yeah, and this is cool because he's still going to be writing comics, which is something that I'm happy about because that's what he knows how to do.
I wanted to ask you what if there was a certain character you thought he was going to try and tackle. I know he's going to try and tackle Swamp Thing right now.
Well, in terms of comics or movies?
Comics. And I think he's about to Swamp Thing's on
Swamp Thing's the show.
No, I think that
you think he's gonna write Swamp Thing?
Yeah, comics? That's on his radar to reboot.
Honestly, I could see any of the Justice League Dark characters or all of them. He could just start writing Justice League Dark. I think because one, they were trying to do a live action version of that movie, and I think it's still in talks, but it's obviously not getting off the ground.
Limbo.
It's in limbo, and those characters can make a lot of money, and especially with the shows like Titans and Swamp Thing coming out, it's kind of opening up the universe for a little more of that. And then on CW shows, they have characters that, in a way,
They dip their toe in.
yeah. And so I could see that. He's writing a new Shazam comic series.
Yep, I heard that was one of them too.
And then a comic titled Three Jokers.
That's gonna blow it.
But here's the thing:
Like
is
blow my mind. I mean,
he's doing a DC pop-up label, The Killing Zone.
yeah,
So it's focusing on new and lesser known or dormant DC characters and titles. So like, it's a lot of what he's gonna do is he's gonna take these characters and make them popular. And I think that's really cool. It's just I find it strange that he's stepping down from this position and he's going back to what he did before, which is fine. But he's still like, it's like I'm gonna compare it to this. It's like he stepped down and took like his old job back in a way, but he's more involved and more independent.
like he's got the street cred now.
Yeah,
So
well,
he's
he
got
had the
a little
street.
more.
Well, he had the street cred before. What I'm
But
saying is like, he is like going back to doing what he did before best, which is write comics and write stories.
mhm.
But he's under some kind of independent label still attached to DC, and then he's doing DC movies attached under Warner Brothers, but also under his own production, which I
Bad
think is
Ghost. Sick name, by the way.
it's a cool name, but
Not too
I'm not
original.
gonna obsess over it.
Not too original.
It's just I find it interesting. I think a lot of what he and this is part of my theory is I think a lot of what he got sick of was the overbearing hand of other things going on in DC and Warner Brothers. So he's like, well, fuck it, let's do this. I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna write comics under a different label. I'm gonna produce and write movies under this label, and you guys won't. I think he's sneakily getting away to where they can't touch his shit.
Cool.
I'm down. I mean, I'm down with it. I'm pretty sure that's where he's going with it.
Trust in Geoff Johns, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hope it all turns out really well. I think this is a great move. DC needs a shakeup. Maybe Jim Lee will be a better fit for this job instead of Geoff Johns, and Geoff Johns can get back to what he does best, and that's tell killer stories.
Yeah, I mean, it's super weird, especially the timing with like I forget what was her name, Diane Nelson announcing a retirement after long sabbatical. Like it's strange the timing it comes up with, but maybe that was just kind of the driving action for him to be like, all right, I'm gonna get out of this and get what I need, like go back to where I need to go.
I think that's where the rumor all came from about him kind of getting fired but not getting fired and letting him get his eggs in a row.
I think,
and it's a possibility. You never know, and that would have been nice of them, though.
I don't think it's a fired thing. I don't. I don't think it at all. Like him being fired was an option. I think they gave him an out.
Yeah.
But that's different. Like it's not giving him an out. Isn't like you're fired or we're giving you this out. I think it's just like them being like, hey, here's an opportunity. Would you prefer this?
Yeah.
And like stay where you're at or take this is what I think he was given. I don't think fired was even an option.
At some point, does it even matter though?
No, it doesn't. Like, it's just you asked.
No, but we're at this point finally, like where we're super psyched that this is all happening. It's
still bittersweet for me. Like I love it. I'm down with it. It's just like, man, I honestly think he did a lot of good. Like he was a lead in making DC Rebirth and like.
Oh yeah, no.
And like that's probably the best thing that's happened to those comics since before New 52.
Even though he was part of New 52.
He was part of New 52, but he was still just kind of writing stories because what he...
Did he write Flashpoint?
I don't think he... Oh, no, he did write Flashpoint, I think. I don't remember. I'm pretty
sure... if he...
he was a part of Flashpoint. I don't remember exactly.
Story building the whole universe.
Because Flash Rebirth came out, and then Flashpoint came out. He did the original Rebirth stories, and I think that's kind of where the name for Rebirth comics that just came out, like 1 or 2 years ago. I think it was 1 year ago or something.
Yeah, I think it's
about a year ago. I think that's where a lot of that started. Was like it started with Geoff Johns writing Flash Rebirth, Green Lantern Rebirth, and bringing back these important characters and getting back
Wally West.
Yeah, and getting back.
Oh,
Well, he brought back Barry Allen, but now Wally West was brought back.
yeah. Well, that's what I mean in Rebirth.
Yeah. And I think that was a really cool thing that they did in terms of like where he is in terms of like writing comics, and like I'm glad that he's back to what he's good at.
Me too. And I'm excited for Green Lantern Corps in the end, and I can't wait.
Yeah, and the funny thing is Green Lantern Corps is gonna be based off of his run on Green Lantern.
Cool. Who else better
No
than
one
that
else
to
better.
make it?
Yeah.
Well, let's cut it off there. I think we're both really excited. We had a pretty decent talk about Geoff Johns and his new role in the movies and comics. And you can follow me at on Twitter at mayhem_ren.
And me at R2 Dillon.
And we'll catch you next time when we talk about Tom Holland's Spider-Man 2 sequel reveal.